What's up? It's Luke, and Bitcoin has hit $100,000. And Bitcoin will continue to go up past this, despite what you've probably heard through legacy media. And you have two options. You can sit on the sidelines and watch this happen, or you can study and understand why this is happening. It's up to you. But I think the main focus for today should be MicroStrategy. And I want to discuss why over the past few weeks it is kind of just bear crabbed and has not really performed well despite Bitcoin's performance over the last few weeks, and what's actually happening here, and why in the long term you will actually be thankful for this little drop here. So Saylor recently has been going crazy with his buys. He's stacked over 400,000, and these green bubbles here equate to about $13 billion in buys recently. And one of them, I think it was, this one, he bought 55,000, which was his largest buy ever. And when he makes these buys, and when he makes these announcements, what is actually happening is he is basically selling off shares. So even though he's buying more, he's still diluting. But they have calculated it so that his buys are actually accretive, because the rate at which they're diluting is being outperformed by the Bitcoin that they are buying. But in the short term, when you kind of spam this, it can really suppress the price of the stock. And the reason that he's been going so heavy, and even though this was supposed to be a 3-year plan for buying 42 billion, the reason he's used up 13 to 14 billion of that in almost 2 weeks is because he is MicroStrategy is going to get added to the QQQ, and people are saying that, oh, it's not 100% guaranteed, and they think that a central group of people have to make a decision on this stock. But I've understood recently that the central team does not decide on a stock-to-stock basis. The central team selects a set of rules that need to be met for a stock to qualify, and MicroStrategy has qualified for all of them. So the first one is MicroStrategy, or the stock in question, has to be in the top 100 companies in terms of market cap listed on the Nasdaq, which they are. They have to be non-financial, so they would have to be registered as something other than a finance company, which this was the one that was causing a lot of people to think that they might not get included. But if you check on the Nasdaq website, you can see that they are listed as a technology company, and this is final. This was at the time of their snapshot, which I'll get to in a minute, so that's not going to change. They were the #1 traded stock for a few days in last week, so they are not obviously going to make that requirement. And so yeah, they've basically met all of the requirements. And since they've met this, their snapshot was on the 29th of November. And this is what they would look like if they were to get added. They would be the 52nd company in terms of market cap. They would have a 0.28% allocation, which would be valued at nearly $1 billion. And this would all happen from the 13th to the 20th. We will find out that they did get in on the 13th, and then over the next week, they would be reallocating almost $1 billion into MicroStrategy that is not in right now. And during this 1 week period, it is rumored that you are not allowed to dilute. And there's not really a company out there that is diluting the same way that Saylor is. So this is usually not a thing that people think about, but you are not allowed to change because they are trying to get these percentages right before they continue. So what that would mean is that Saylor cannot dilute, and what Saylor's goal is to buy as much Bitcoin before this 1 week period, because he knows he is not going to be able to get as much as he wants, because Bitcoin will keep performing well during this time. So The other thing is the strategy that MSTR has been using is being copied now, and it's catching on. Companies are starting to announce Bitcoin buys in a similar manner to Saylor. This company, Mara, is using convertible notes with plans of only buying Bitcoin. Recently, Selmer Scientific acquired 303 Bitcoin, and they are posting their buys in the same fashion that Saylor is. Metaplanet has been doing this for a while. They bought 124, and they have a total of over 1,000. And what this reminds me of is when Tesla was gaining popularity in 2019. He was the only one making electric cars. And then once their stock started to skyrocket and people saw the demand in electric cars, every company started following. And I think as Bitcoin continues to climb in price, more and more announcements will continue to come out as Bitcoin's price increases. So we are approaching the two most bullish weeks in Bitcoin's history coming up here. So a lot of exciting news to come out soon. So yeah, if you enjoyed this, subscribe.